As the sun sank behind the Aravalli Hills, Bhangarh Fort began to breathe in a way no living place ever should, its broken walls soaking in the dying light while shadows stretched like clawed fingers across the ruins, and the air grew unnaturally cold, carrying whispers that felt older than time itself. Travelers say Bhangarh is silent, but that silence is a lie, because if you listen carefully, the ruins speak, and on this night, the screams were waiting. Arav had always been drawn to forbidden places, not out of bravery, but curiosity, the kind that gnaws at your thoughts until you give in, and despite every warning sign and every story told by locals, he stepped past the crumbling gate just before dusk, telling himself that fear was nothing more than imagination fueled by legends. The fort stood massive and hollow, like a skeleton of stone, and with every step he took, the gravel beneath his feet echoed too loudly, as if the ground itself was announcing his presence to unseen watchers. As darkness settled, the temperature dropped sharply, and Arav noticed something strange. The wind did not move the trees, yet it brushed past his ears, whispering his name in a voice that sounded both distant and painfully close. He laughed nervously, trying to convince himself it was just the wind playing tricks, but the laughter died in his throat when he heard it, a faint scream, long and trembling, rising from somewhere deep within the ruins. It wasn't loud, but it carried a pain so raw that his chest tightened, and against his better judgment, he followed the sound. Moving deeper into the fort where the walls were blackened by age and something darker, something that felt like sorrow soaked into stone. Every corridor felt the same, yet different, twisting his sense of direction, and soon he realized the fort was guiding him, pulling him forward like a predator toying with its prey. The scream came again, clearer now, and with it came flashes in his mind, a woman running, her feet bleeding on stone, her breath ragged, her eyes wide with terror as unseen hands reached for her from the darkness. Arav stumbled, clutching his head, confused about whether the vision was his imagination or a memory not his own, and when he looked up, he saw figures standing at the edge of his vision, silhouettes that vanished the moment he tried to focus on them. In that moment, he understood the truth behind the legends. Bhangarh was not haunted by spirits, it was haunted by memories, memories that refused to fade, and those memories had found a new witness. As a shadow detached itself from the wall before him, taking the shape of a man with hollow eyes and a voice like cracked stone, Arav realized the screams were not meant to scare him away, they were calling him, and as the shadow spoke his name with a twisted familiarity, the last light of day vanished, leaving him alone in the ruins with the past rising to claim him. Darkness wrapped around Arav like a living thing as the shadow drew closer, its presence draining the warmth from his body, and though his legs trembled with fear, he forced himself to stand, knowing that surrender would mean becoming just another scream trapped within these walls. The figure spoke again, telling a tale of betrayal, of forbidden love and cruel curses, of souls bound to the fort the night it fell to ruin, their final moments etched into stone and air, replaying endlessly for anyone foolish enough to listen. As the shadow faded, the screams returned, but this time they changed, weaving together into a single voice, pleading not for release, but remembrance, and Arav felt a strange shift within himself, as if the fort was no longer attacking him, but testing him. Images flooded his mind, villagers fleeing in terror, a curse sealing the gates, lives cut short not by fate, but by human greed and obsession, and through it all, the same question echoed, would he run, or would he listen? Trembling, Arav spoke aloud, promising to carry their story beyond the ruins, to tell the world what happened here, and as his words echoed, the screams softened, turning into whispers filled with longing rather than pain. The oppressive weight lifted, and for the first time since entering Bhangarh, he felt the fort loosen its grip. The corridors opening, guiding him back toward the gate he once crossed so carelessly. As he emerged into the pale light of dawn, the fort stood silent once more, its secrets hidden behind crumbling stone, but Arav knew the silence was temporary, dependent on those who remembered. He walked away changed, haunted not by fear, but responsibility, understanding that some places demand more than curiosity, they demand respect, and some screams are not meant to frighten, but to be heard. When Arav finally told his story, people listened, drawn by the mystery, the emotion, the truth woven into legend, and though many doubted, others felt the same chill he once did, the same pull toward the ruins of Bhangarh. And now, as you hear this story, remember that the screams of Bhangarh have not faded, they wait for new ears, new hearts willing to listen, and if you felt that chill, that curiosity stirring within you, then the ruins have already reached you. Stay with us, subscribe to the channel, and become part of these untold stories, because every legend deserves to be remembered, and every scream deserves to be heard.